What's up, everybody? It's your bro, Super Bro Zulfi. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I just want to chat with you guys. I want to talk about this pretty cool product me and the wife stumbled upon while we were at Walmart. And it is the My First Battle decks by Pokemon. It's a great way to get into the Pokemon TCG for someone who has never played it before. Let's talk about it. So these are the two decks we found, and it's actually 4 decks because each box contains 2 decks. So yeah, you actually only need one of these boxes to get started for 2 players, where typically in any other game, you would need to buy 2 starter decks. So let's dive into what comes inside of one box. All right, so the first thing I just want to mention is that this retails for $10, which is a great price point because most starter decks for other games go for around that. But the difference here, again, is you can have 2 players play with one box instead of having to buy 2. It's called My First Battle. This one comes with Bulbasaur and Pikachu. Comes with 2 different decks. Includes everything needed for up to 2 players. And this one comes with a Squirtle deck and a Charmander deck. That's the main difference between the 2 boxes. But everything else that it comes with is pretty similar. So on the side of the box, you can see we have pictures of the main Pokemon cards that are in the set and a coin that has the 2 Pokemon that the decks are themed around. You have Bulbasaur and Pikachu. And then, of course, on this one, you've got a coin with Charmander and Squirtle. Here's a list of everything that comes inside the box. So you get 2 mini decks. These are mini decks. These are not typical Pokemon TCG decks. You get 2 playmats, not just 1, 2. That way you both can play together. 1 rule book, 1 coin. You get damage counters, and a total of 6 prize tokens. And we'll get into that later. On the back, it gives a description of the game. And again, it tells you every single thing that you get in the box. Another thing I want to note, the play level up here is at 1. So this is as beginner as it gets. Before diving into the box, I do want to read the paragraph on the back of the box. It says, your Pokemon TCG adventure starts here. If you've always wanted to play the Pokemon trading card game with family and friends, the Pokemon TCG My First Battle set is the perfect introduction. With a streamlined game and foolproof guidance, you'll be ready to train and battle together. Everything you need for 2 players is included. And I think that is awesome. This is basically the Pokemon trading card game on training wheels. And it really simplifies the game so anybody can understand it. It's also for ages 6+. So great for kids, but also great for adults that have never played Pokemon and want to give it a try. All right, let's talk about some of the stuff that we get inside the box. So first off is the Simplified Rulebook. And right off the bat, it tells you what everything is on the first page. It goes over the basic rules, and then it'll break down every single thing inside. It even details different parts of a card, how to set up the board when you're starting, more setup, how a whole turn works. It guides you through a whole turn. Drawing a card, how that works, playing a basic Pokemon, playing an energy card, evolving a Pokemon, playing trainer cards, attack with active Pokemon. Everything is here. Knockouts, and then winning the game by collecting your 3 prize tokens. Again, rules are different in this game than the actual TCG. I think it's great, and I love this art. Here's a look at the coin that you get. Really nice. This is heads and tails. Again, there are card effects in the decks that require you to flip a coin, so they do provide you with a Pokemon coin. These prize tokens are also a thing in this game. In the actual TCG, you would use 6 prize cards, but they're not asking you to put down cards in this version. Instead, you're putting down 3 prize tokens. And once you collect 3 prize tokens by knocking out 3 of your opponent's Pokemon, you win the match instead of having to, you know, knock out 6 Pokemon to collect 6 prize cards. You're only knocking out 3 here. They also do provide you with damage tokens or damage counters. We've been using them, so quite a bit of them have been pushed out of this cardboard. Me and the wife have been playing a lot and been enjoying the game. I know a lot of people use dice, and that's probably the easier option. We just don't have dice laying around, so we need to probably buy some dice, and then we'll probably stop using this and use dice to keep track of damage on our Pokemon. And of course, you get your 2 decks, and these are mini decks. They're laughably small. Look how thin this is. They contain only 17 cards. And I know a lot of people who play Pokemon usually have like 60 cards in their decks, but these decks are tiny. And this one typically comes with a Bulbasaur deck and a Pikachu deck, but I did trade the Pikachu deck to my wife for the Charmander deck that came in the other set. But let's quickly take a look at the Bulbasaur deck. All right, so I put the cards in order to give you a rundown of the deck. So you have Bulbasaur, 2 of them, Ivysaur, Oddish, Gloom, Execute, Executor, Scyther, and you have 4 energies total in the deck and only 2 trainer cards, which is a potion and a switch in each of the decks. And the decks are very balanced. All the decks have the same amount of cards and basically the same amount of Pokemon. These beginner Pokemons have the same damage that they do across the board. And these Pokemon do vary a little bit right here, but you will get 2 evolution Pokemon sets. So in this one, it's Oddish and Execute. And then you get 1 basic powerful Pokemon, which this one is Scyther. And you get 4 basic energies. And you'll notice that one of the basic energies has a blue border and one of the Bulbasaurs has a blue border as well, because the game wants you to start off every match with these 2 in play. And it applies to all 4 of the decks that are in these sets. Another thing I noticed about the starter cards is that they have a little Pokeball there. Maybe that's just there in case somebody is colorblind and can't tell that the border is a different color. But that's a good indicator to have to let you know that these are the cards that you're starting off with, because the regular cards do not have that. Another thing you'll notice on these cards is that there's a little silhouette at the bottom. This one has Bulbasaur. The other decks have the starter of that deck as a little silhouette, and it's on all the cards in the deck. The energies have them, the trainers have them, and that's just so that you could put all the cards back together if they ever get mixed up. And you'll notice that down here, there's nothing here. Usually there's weaknesses and resistance and retreat cost. None of these Mons have any of that. That's their way of making this game super balanced. You can use a Bulbasaur deck against a fire deck and still do good. You don't have to worry about all of their attacks doing super effective damage and doing more damage to your deck. Another thing you will notice about these cards is that the back is different from typical Pokemon cards. It says My First Battle, and it's on all the backs of these cards. This is what a typical back of a Pokemon card looks like. So you cannot mix any of these cards into a regular deck of Pokemon cards. So I think that's awesome, because this could be its own thing, I feel like. I feel like Pokemon companies should make more My First Battle cards. They have a total of 4 mini decks out right now, but it'd be awesome if they made more different types, such as psychic types or fighting type or fairy, dragon, you know. There's a lot of opportunity here. This could be its own game. It could be like an easier version of the game for more casual people to play if they don't want to get into the more hardcore TCG. All right, let's move on to the last thing you get inside the box, which is the Playmat. This is what it looks like. And it's pretty cool. They even have a section over here that gives you everything you can do within a turn. So it's always there for you while you're playing the game. You can draw a card, you can play a basic Pokemon onto the bench, you can play an energy card once per turn, you can evolve your Pokemon, you can play trainer cards, you can attack with your active Pokemon. So that's always a good reminder to have while playing, so you don't have to actually look at the rule book. And here's the rest of it. This is obviously different depending on what deck you have. So the other decks have Pikachu's Squirtle and Charmander. This is the Bulbasaur one, so you get a nice little picture of Bulbasaur there. And this is where you'll be playing your grass energies. Each mat has their own energy, so this one is the grass energy. And everything else is pretty much the same for all the mats. And this is what your board will look like every time you start the game. You will have your 3 prize tokens right there. Once you knock out 3 of your opponent's Pokemon, you can take those and win the match. Bulbasaur always starts off in the active spot, the blue border starter. In this case, it's Bulbasaur. You always start with 1 energy in play, and your deck goes there. And then you flip a coin to decide who goes first, and you draw 3 cards, and you begin the game. And I did forget to mention this, but in this version of Pokemon cards, you do not attach energies to your Pokemon for them to do their attacks. Instead, you will place them all here in this energy pool area, and your Pokemon can use attacks based off of how many energies are here. So Bulbasaur right now can use Tackle for 1 leaf energy. That's what you got. In order to use another attack, you would have to place another energy here. To use Vine Whip, you have 2 here, but you can have a total of 4 here, and that's why it kind of is like stacked. You would basically stack them here. So I just got done putting everything back in the box, but I just want to restate that I think this is a phenomenal product for anybody wanting to get into the Pokemon trading card game. This is a great place to start if you don't know anything. Me and my brother dabbled a little bit in the TCG, not too much. We were more so collected Pokemon cards. The card games I played growing up were Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I played Magic the Gathering for a while in high school as well. But I never really got into a Pokemon trading card game too much. But this has been so fun playing this with my wife. And my wife knew nothing about Pokemon trading cards before getting this, and she's loving it. We're both loving it. And again, there's 2 decks out currently, or a total of 4 decks, like I said at the beginning of the video. But you only need 1 of these to get started and play. You got the Pikachu deck, you get the Bulbasaur deck, the Charmander deck, and the Squirtle deck. I want to see more decks for my first battles. This, I really feel like, could be its own separate kids version or beginner version or casual version of the game. If you never want to get into the hardcore TCG with all the extra rules, this could be its own subcategory, kind of like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Has speed duels or rush duels, right, in Japan. This could be its own version of the Pokemon trading card game that we get on the side for people that just want something short and cheap to dabble in. And that's another thing that's great about this. Matches don't take that long. With only 17 cards per deck, you're usually going through matches pretty quickly. And again, these are pretty cheap and affordable, so it doesn't break the bank. It costs $20 to get both of these decks. We have a total of 4 decks for 20 bucks, and these are so beginner friendly. Anybody that's willing to learn will be able to learn. And we're just going to put these with the rest of our trading cards or playing cards and board games. And whenever somebody comes over, we can be like, hey, do you want to learn how to play the Pokemon trading card game? And if they're interested, we can sit down and get them started. So yeah, Pokemon Company, if you're watching this video, please make more My First Battle decks. I will buy them. Alright guys, I can go on and on about how awesome these decks are, but I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know if this is something you guys would be interested in playing, Pokemon, getting into it. Or if you are a Pokemon player, what do you guys think about the My First Battle decks? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. It's been your bro, Super Bro Zulfi. Peace.